Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight on 207. I'm Samantha York.
And I'm Rob Caldwell. Coming up on this Thursday, it has been 70 years since four of the most influential musicians of their time gathered in a recording studio in Memphis and made music history. The sounds and stories of that night are coming to life in the Public Theater's latest production, Million Dollar Quartet.
And later this half hour, Dr. Allyson Coffin from Align with Wellness joins us. She's sharing some exercises you can do at home, don't require any weights, and will help you increase your strength. But first tonight, we hear a lot these days about how just about all of us in the workforce will, at some point in our careers, have to reinvent themselves.
Sometimes those reinventions are pretty dramatic, as we found at a small business in Bath that taps into a growing part of the Maine economy. It might sound a little odd, but the fact is, Oysters changed Virginia Shaffer's life. Before she became obsessed with oysters, she was in her 20s, living in Boston and making good money in a corporate job.
I was in tech sales, corporate travel management sales. So we sold very large travel and expense systems to Fortune 500 companies.
Did you have a pretty nice expense account which enabled you to go out and entertain and eat oysters?
Yes. Well, and you know what, we did this thing. I always tried to find businesses that were kind of closer to the coast so I could tie in a special little oyster trip along the way. We called it bleisure, business and leisure together.
She visited raw bar after raw bar, eagerly sampling a wide variety of oysters.
I was keeping a tally and a track of all the oysters I had tried. And after a while, I just thought, you know what? I don't know anything about this animal, but I love to eat it. I'm just going to randomly cold call an oyster farmer. And that's what I did.
Virginia Shaffer started writing a blog about her passion, which has now led to her first book called Oyster Society, Adventures with the Shellfishly Motivated. Along the way, she talked to oyster farmers, chefs, shuckers, all kinds of people who loved and worked with oysters. The oyster community is welcoming. If someone like you, who maybe doesn't have a lot of knowledge or didn't have a lot of knowledge in the beginning, but has a lot of curiosity and a really keen interest, knocks on the door, then people will welcome you in and talk to you.
Yeah, it's true. I've never seen any other industry, certainly the one I was in travel was so competitive, and you just kind of like viciously hated your competitor, even though they were just everyday people like you and me.
So the tech world is not like the oyster world?
No, it's not.
Oyster farming and the whole oyster culture have boomed in Maine in the last decade. That culture was so appealing to her that it made her think hard about leaving her lucrative corporate job.
I had worked so hard to get to a point where I felt like I'd made it in life, and I had everything I really needed, but I wasn't happy anymore. And oysters were just kind of this thing that kept calling me, and I was like, how am I going to make a life in that? How am I going to switch?
Finally, Virginia Shaffer made the switch. She quit her corporate job, moved to Maine, and started a company called Lady Oyster Tours and Tasting, which, not surprisingly, offers tours and tastings. She also opened this 4-seat establishment, The Parlor, in Bath, billed as Maine's smallest oyster bar. She was all in and very happy. How long did it take you to become a really skillful shucker?
I would say it took me a few thousand oysters to get really, really comfortable and gain some speed.
A few thousand?
Yeah. But if you are just shucking at home and you're not so obsessed with making sure those gills are like perfectly intact like we obsess over, a few dozen and you're fine.
Part of the richness of oyster culture comes from the differences in the oysters themselves, not only the varieties, but also where they were raised, the salinity of the water, the minerals, the algae, the currents, and so much more. All those elements create different flavors and a wealth of stories.
I mean, we have, I think, over upwards of 200 farms now here in Maine, and I thought, in other places you see a lot of consolidation of oyster farming, and here we see so many small family businesses that I was like, I could talk about these people for days. Yeah.
And she does.
It's awesome.
A lot of people don't eat oysters at home because shucking them is not easy. It takes practice. Virginia Shaffer showed us how a pro shucks oysters, and you'll find that video on our new Center Maine streaming app, and more information about Virginia Shaffer and her business on our website and app.
Coming up next on 207, the night Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Carl Perkins made music history, and the musical at the Public Theater in Lewiston, bringing that moment back to life.
On December 4th, 1956, music history was made in a recording studio in Memphis. Singers Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Elvis Presley came together for what has been called one of the greatest jam sessions ever.
That night is captured in the Broadway musical Million Dollar Quartet, and tomorrow night you'll have your first chance to see the show at the Public Theater in Lewiston. The show is in collaboration with Maine State Music Theater, and the audience might recognize a familiar face and voice.
Well, it's a one for the money.
Part of, I feel like,
Two for the show.
us doing the show
Three to get ready. Now go, can't go.
is seeing the audience.
Step on blue suede shoes.
They relive this moment, and it's like you see the jolts of energy that come through them. They're just like teenagers again watching the four of us. It's so fun to see that.
It's fun to play with each other too. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, we all know each other, and it's like we've played together for years. So it's like not only are we getting to feed off what the audience gives, but selfishly, like we get to play music with our best friends. You know, that's pretty good.
And now, Scott, you play Johnny Cash, but you're also directing the show.
That's right.
What has it been like to step into both of those roles at the same time?
Honestly, I've done it before. This time is the first time that I've music directed, and played Johnny Cash at the same time. So it's definitely been a challenge in that I'm wearing a bunch of different hats, but honestly, that's also why I got this group together. Not only these guys, but our amazing rhythm section, our Sam Phillips and our Diane, because they all have a wealth of experience in theater, but specifically with this show.
Does it add pressure, though, that like, okay, we got to get this right because people know these musicians?
Yeah.
Does it go?
Oh yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
You know, Elvis and Johnny Cash, for instance, a lot of people feel like those are members of their family because they've grown up for them. You know, they saw them on Ed Sullivan, they saw them on television, they bought their records, and so this is somebody that's been in their life for so long. So that's a big part of what our job is, keeping their legacy and their life and their music going, and really handling it with respect.
And I think of even a character like Elvis. I mean, he's moving and shaking and all. That's got to be so much fun to bring him to life.
It was countless hours in the mirror, just looking goofy until I got it right. But it had to be done.
It's a show. There are lines. It's not just like a tribute show of music. This is a play for people to come out and see.
And we also jump into a really interesting part in each of their lives and their careers. Elvis is sort of just starting his real grip with stardom. Johnny is at a pivotal moment in his career. Jerry's just starting out, and Carl's trying to come back to it after some life circumstances. So it's a really interesting time for all of them.
And the set is insane.
Yeah, it's great.
This is so.
We're in a studio.
Yes.
We're here.
Yes. And I mean, that's the point, right? It's like, it's to make people feel like they are in that room with them as they're recording. And did I hear you actually either performed in the studio that we're talking about, or you've recorded there?
Yeah, so I recorded there. I was on the first national tour of Million Dollar Quartet. A few of us went and got studio time, but I specifically got time to go in and do my Johnny Cash record there. And so, there are lines in the show that, we say things like, the first time Elvis starts singing, he says, well, I stood right here, and I literally stood right there and recorded music. So, I think the history of that studio, not along with the music, but is so, really can like feel the ghosts there when you walk in. Like you can feel the history in the walls. It's not just about, oh, well, it's neat and it's kind of a museum piece. It really, you can feel it all when you walk in there.
It seems to me like it's one of those shows that really shows you the power of music and how it can bring people together and unite. And I'm wondering if you guys felt that way too as you were getting ready to perform.
That is my favorite part of the show afterwards. You know, like if we're lucky enough to get to talk to the audience, it's like you get to hear all these stories about how different people saw them at different points in their life. And we talk about how like, this was my first dance. This is the first time I was kissed. You know, I got to hear these songs, and it's such a, like Scott said, they're basically members of their family. So hearing that we can bring, the fun we're having up here, it can bring back so many good memories to them. That is the most special thing about this show to me.
To the count, nobody holding in a high flying slang. Around the birds, had it home, it was a
And also we tend over the years, we get a lot of audience members who have seen this show in its different incarnations. I saw it in Chicago, I saw it on tour, I saw it on Broadway. I loved this. Oh man, do you remember when I saw you guys specifically in Kansas City or St. Louis, wherever it was. So we've sort of got that family with us traveling along our journey with the show as well.
It's a theme in the show as well. I mean, that's really what brings these guys together. I mean, we were talking about 4 very different personality types making, pretty different music as well. Some egos sort of clashing, and then all of a sudden we realize that what we have in common is this music together. And so there are a bunch of times where all of the other stuff just goes away, and we start playing these either gospel songs or rock and roll songs by somebody like Chuck Berry, and we go, oh man, we all love this music together, and this is what sort of brings us together.
And it's also a credit to Sam Phillips, the man who sort of saw all of it happening and went, wait a minute, there's something really special here, and captured those moments for all of us to enjoy.
So again, this isn't a tribute show. This is a musical, and ordinarily you would see a pit playing the scores of music. Not this show. Everything you see in here comes entirely from the cast on stage, and if you're wondering if they can play, check this out. Fire. Straight fire.
Easy to do, Jerry Lee. That was impressive.
You can catch Million Dollar Quartet at the Public Theater in Lewiston, August 26th through September 13th. For ticket information and more about the show, just head to our website or app.
When we come back, exercises that are simple to do at home and you don't need any equipment for them.
If you were someone who gets intimidated by lifting weights or it's just not your thing, there are still ways to get strong without picking up the heavy equipment. Dr. Allyson Coffin, our local chiropractor and wellness expert, is here with ways to strengthen our bodies without the weights. Nice to see you.
You too.
Always good to have you here. Now, a lot of people might just kind of say, I don't have all the stuff to do what I need to strengthen my body.
For sure.
And say, never mind, I'll just do something else. But there are ways that we can stay strong without really using a lot.
Yes, just like at home or even at work. These are very easy things.
Okay, so we have 3 different exercises.
Four.
We have 4 different
Yeah.
exercises. I love this. All right, where do you want to start?
So we're gonna start, this is just a functional movement that everybody needs to do, is sit to stand.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna use this stool, but of course you can have one that has handles. So Sam, just sit down.
Okay.
And then when you stand up, you're gonna scoot your glutes all the way to the edge of the stool and then push through your heels when you stand up. And then that strengthens your glutes and your legs.
Yes.
And everybody has a chair.
Yep.
So when you, and then sit back down, try not to use your hands.
Okay. Yes.
And then push through your heels.
Look at that.
And then you just do it like you do any other weight set. You do 3 sets of 10, or if 10 is enough, that's fine. And you just keep working on it throughout the day, because these are activities of daily living that you want to be able to do literally until you die.
And again, it's not just, oh, I'm standing up, I'm sitting down. You really want to engage
Intentional.
with.
Yeah, like push through your heels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Everybody can do that.
Yes.
What's the next one?
The next one is wall push-ups. So a lot of people get intimidated by push-ups because they think they need to do it like on the floor, like you're in the military.
Yes.
Unnecessary.
Nose to the floor, baby.
No. So you're gonna put your hands on the wall.
Okay.
They go like shoulder width apart. Your fingers are wide apart and your middle finger points towards the ceiling. You're gonna go up on your tippy toes, and then you're gonna push towards the wall, and then when you push away, your shoulder blades come together. push away, breathe out.
Ooh.
In, out. Okay, so that can be hard or it can be easy.
I think I actually like this more than any other push-up I've done.
And your form is like perfect because you're like in a nice little plank.
Thank you.
It's very good. Yeah, because we don't want to be like doing push-ups like this. Just be like a nice plank form. And if this is too much, you can get even closer to the wall and do a little tiny push-up.
Little tiny one.
Like that's fine too.
Yep.
And with these all can be progressed. Everybody knows the military push-up, but you're doing it on your knees, doing it on like then go to a table, so like you're a little bit, just a little different incline. As you get stronger and stronger, you can progress these very easily.
Modify it for what works best for you. I love that. Okay, what's next?
The next one is body weight squats.
Okay.
So your knees have to feel okay to do this. But body weight squats look like this. Your feet go shoulder width apart, and then you're going to sit your butt back, and you can put your hands together to the side, whatever you feel like doing. You're gonna squat down, kind of low. Same thing, push through your heels, come back up. And so from the side, you squat down, push through your heels to come back up, and then you squeeze your glutes at the top. And then the really cool thing about squats is that if you do 10 squats after eating, it helps with glucose sensitivity, so that's very cool.
Wow, okay.
And then another thing that's cool about squats is if you have strong legs and all these muscles, because they're huge in our body and your glutes, it helps with your cognition, so your memory. So they've done studies on people that have Alzheimer's, dementia, things like that.
Yeah.
And you're less likely to have those issues if you have a strong lower body and do squats. Isn't that cool?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That
fun.
is really cool.
Yeah.
Is the last exercise just as cool as what you just shared?
I mean, I don't know.
We'll see. I bet it is.
Okay. This one, same thing, you can modify it. So I'm just gonna snag this stool real quick.
Yeah.
So the easiest way to do it, if like you don't have stability, is just as calf raises, you're just gonna put your toes up, put your toes down. Toes up, toes down. Like that's it.
Yeah.
But that's usually pretty easy for everybody. Sorry, I took your spot.
Oh, it's okay. We're just dancing here today.
We're just dancing. But calf raises are a great way to get muscle on your lower leg, because most people don't work those. So you're just going to go up on your toes and down. And then you can progress it also. Like this is also a balance thing to stay up on your toes that long. You should do this with no shoes on, so you can use all the muscles in your feet.
Yeah.
And then another way to progress this, if you want to like combo it, is you put your feet a little bit further apart, go up on your toes, and then you try to squat down, keeping your toes up. That's good for balance and for your legs, and then come back up. You got it.
Oh, yeah.
You can do it.
That was great. I'm leaning forward.
Well, gosh.
Gotta work on that.
We're all just like working on it. You know? It's fine.
I love it. And obviously, as you're going through these exercises, if you're feeling aches and pains anywhere,
stop.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
You don't have to push through the pain, people.
No, never.
Call somebody if you need to.
Yeah, give them a jingle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Allyson. So good to see you. If you would like to learn more about these exercises yourself, they're all going to be there for you on the 207 section of our website and app, and we'll be right back. Coming up tomorrow on 207, Chip Layton is a dad who lives in Maine and has become a viral sensation.
The secret to his success, collecting the unintentionally funny things his kids and wife say to him, which are not flattering. He's out with a new book called Dad, Can You Not? A Dad's Guide to Being Less Cringy. The dry humor about life as a dad from Maine's Chip Layton. That is tomorrow on 207.
You know, some people might say if your kids are saying that, you're doing something right. It's kind of rite of passage.
Well, you know, I'll tell you, the kids are giving him material that is priceless, and he knows how to use it.
Love it. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Have a good night. Hope to see you right back here tomorrow at 7.